not a game, it's a rich thing.
Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be doing a hair tutorial on how to create a U-part unit using Kinky Curly Mongolian hair. It blends really well with 4C textures and the brand is ISEE Hair. You are going to need needle and thread. I prefer to use the U-shaped needle. It's easier to maneuver through in and out of the wefts. And you're going to need some wig clips. The hair clips are to secure the wig. You don't necessarily need them. However, I like to have a little more security to grab onto my anchor brace. So you would just sew the thread onto the actual clip and then sew it onto the hair. The wig. You will need scissors to cut your thread and a U-part wig cap. I purchased 3 bundles. Each are 22 inches and it is Mongolian hair, kinky curly texture that goes very well with 4C textured hair. You want to make sure you wash your hair because you don't know what kind of chemicals are sprayed on it or what is on the hair. So make sure you always wash it, I suggest. This is what the wig cap looks like outside of the packaging, and you can see there is an adjustable strap in the back if your wig is too big or too small. I typically cut the sides off because my head is a little bit smaller, so and this is how you thread the needle. It's a very, very close up tutorial on how to get the thread through the needle and how to tie the knot. If you already know, feel free to skip through. However, this is for beginners who aren't sure. You want to get the knot as close as possible to the very end so you're not wasting thread. I double threaded, so you just tie a knot, just a regular old knot, and you move it all the way down until you can get as farthest to the bottom without the knot coming all the way through. Tie it up, and I typically do this about 2 to 3 times. So it's going to be your choice on if you want to do more than one. I suggest more than one, at least 2. Alright, so there's the knot. You're also going to need some T-pins to hold the wig cap in place while you're sewing on the hair. You would just put them all around the perimeter wherever you feel as though it needs to be secured. Alright, next it's time to start sewing the track onto the wig cap. I use the T-pins to hold the track in place while I started my first couple of threads. In the beginning, I do go through the weft and then I tie a knot just for extra security. I also repeat that process at the very end once I get to the other side. And once you get to the middle, once you pass the first few threads through the weft, you can start just going around in a circle as opposed to going through the weft. You just go under the weft, through the wig cap, and just bring it around. You will continue to repeat that process through the whole entire unit until you reach the crown of the cap. Okay, so I'm slowing this down just so that you can see that I am tying a knot at the very end of the row that I'm on. Remember, a knot at the beginning and a knot at the end is required just to make sure that it is secure and that your threading will not come out. Now, make sure the knot is as close as possible to the wig. That way it's not hanging off or it's not loose. At least your track will be tight and secure with you putting a knot. I typically do 1 to 2 knots at the end. And now it's time to get started again. And as you move along, you can continue to use the T-pins to hold the track in place while you're sewing, or you can just lay it over the top of it just to keep it in place. Here I'm showing how much space I'm leaving in between each track. It is going to be totally up to you on how much space you want to leave between the tracks. That's going to just determine how full your wig will be. So it would be determined by, if it's smaller, of course, there's going to be more hair you're going to use, so the wig will be fuller. If you have larger spaces in between, it's not that it won't be full, it won't be as full. However, what you can do is go back in and add hair if it's not full enough for you. So all the way up to the top until there's no more space left. I left the size where I'm going to cut off for me, or you can use it to actually sew your wig clips on as well. Remember to cut the string in the middle of the cap, and now you have your finished wig, U-part wig. Of course, and the styling process will be totally up to you. I am going to show some of the products that I use to define my curls. You definitely want to have water available, some sort of defining curl cream or gel. Here are the products that I use that work pretty good for me. One of my staples is the Equal Styling Gel with olive oil and the Moroccan Curling Perfection defining cream.